Okay. Okay. God damn it. Why didn't I think of that? I figured she'd be too busy trying to figure out how to off someone in the guest house. But of course, you know, Beatrice made it easy for her. She says when they're not grouped together is when they're less powerful. So if if there's one that's singled out, God damn it, God damn it. So she brought him out to try to try to bring back Shannon, and now little shit McAsswipe here is gonna be like, oh really? How about I make you number 7 instead? Ugh. At that time, the cruel new bitch could be seen staring at the guest house from a different location.
あと残すは第7第8の番だけね。あと2人で先代のババアの義理はおしまいだわ。クラウスと夏日を殺す。夫婦仲良くね。
Oh, okay, so she's not concerned with Beatrice or George. Interesting.
標的はどうかに？ゲストハウス1階ロビーにて標的2名と後ろ宮エヴァを捕捉。反魔法力測定。410へデータリンク。410データ受領。反魔法力は極めて小。エヴァさえ席を外せばまな板の上のマグロにアワビです。
And how are they gonna get Ava to go outside? Be like, oh, where's George at?
いかがしますか、大ベアトリーチェ卿。ご命令をいただければすぐにも狙撃いたします。どうかご命令を。
ほんとにあんたたちは便利な家具ね。死体をほじるしか能のない中古家具どもとは大違いだね。シエスタ姉妹、攻撃準備よ。死体はまた運び出してね。たっぷり遊んであげるんだから。文句はなしよ、ロノベ。
はい、かしこまりました。
Okay, and that's when she sees it. At that moment, the witch noticed something. It was as though some presence had disappeared. Was it her imagination?
今何か気配を感じなかった？誰か感じた人いる？申し訳
ありません。私は何も気づきませんでした。お許しを。私たちゲストハウスを観測中でしたから周辺監視はオフにしてます。にひ。
I hate that little
ル
fucking
シファー
Nihi.
ちゃんは何か気配感じた？
For just an instant, Lucifer glanced at Ronove, asking whether she should answer honestly or not. Ronove gave a small nod in response.
いいえ、申し訳ございません。ベアトリーチェ様、私たちは何も。中古家具ゆえ、愚鈍なことをお許しください。
そう、大悪魔のあなたがそう言うなら、きっと私の気のせいなんでしょうね。
The bitch persistently stared in the direction of the presence had disappeared to. That was where the rose garden lay. And beyond that, she could see the mansion's dark silhouette created by lightning. It took quite some time before she pushed her unsatisfied feelings aside. And once again faced the guest house. Very interested to see how this all comes to a close. The guest house lobby was wrapped in silence. The strings of tension binding Kraus, Nazi, and Ava had already loosened. They were completely worn out, with their minds beginning to waver. Every once in a while, they would stand up and walk around pointlessly, as though fighting their drowsiness.
大丈夫ですか、エヴァさん。 やはり無理をせず休んでいてください。大丈夫だって言ってるわ。もう大人は私たち3人しかいないのよ。休んでる暇なんかないわ。石にかじりついてでもここを死守するわよ。
She spoke bravely, but she couldn't hide her rough breathing. It seemed that the fever, which had been calmed with medicine for a short time, had returned. It was very obvious that Ava's health was not good.
無理はするな。せめて目を閉じていたまえ。もし起こさねばならぬ時は必ず起こ
Nah,
してやるから。
she can't risk closing her eyes because that's when the nightmares happen, right?
だから平気だって言ってるわ。放っておいて。
It seemed she was already unwilling to budge. Karase and Natsume realized that even if they talked to her any more when she was like this, it wouldn't reach her ears. So without saying anything more, they decided to let her be. To Ava, right now, even having an argument like that would be burdensome. It'd probably be better for her body if she just sat there with her mouth closed. In truth, Ava was just a step away from being beaten down by drowsiness. Perhaps she shot back at them with a temper because she was trying to rouse herself and throw off her sleepiness. The clock would be pointing to 6 o'clock in the afternoon very soon. She had several snacks to distract herself from her drowsiness, so she didn't feel hungry. But now her lack of sleep made it feel like it was 6 o'clock in the morning, not the afternoon. Even supposing that the boat came at precisely 9 o'clock in the morning tomorrow, they still had more than 12 full hours to go. It was an overwhelmingly long stretch of time. Long. Painful. Hot. Even the sound of the clock torments my body now. In times like this, when that person puts his hand on my forehead, the fever fades at once. But that person no longer exists. As Ava's mind grew foggy, she was once again gripped by a deep sadness. She had already cried herself dry. Even so, the sadness of losing her beloved husband had not been exhausted.
私は間違っていたんだわ。どうして？
The new bitch and Ava were fundamentally the same being. If Ava talked to her, she would always respond.
私は後ろ宮家の当主の座さえ得られれば、それがあの黄金の山を見た途端に欲が増えたの。あの黄金の山を独り占めしたい気持ちに駆られた。それは恥じることでも何でもないわ。だって後ろ宮家の当主として当然の権利じゃない。他の誰にも黄金の私がその誘惑にとらわれたから、あなたは自分勝手でしかない。そのあなたがあの黄金、私の胸という卵の殻を破り、あなたを産んだのは私の責任。なら私が殺したローザ、そしてルドルフとキリエと秀吉、どうしてうちの人まで殺したのよ。どうして秀吉を殺す気はなかった。だってうるさくてしつこかったんだもの。その意味では私たちのあんなのを旦那に選んだあなたみたいな子供にあの人の良さは分からない
Damn straight. You let her know, Ava. Ain't no man like Hideyoshi.
何よ、私たちは魔法で夢を叶えた
No,
の
our
よ。
dreams were made real with Hideyoshi.
自
Fuck
分
you.
の謎を解いたわ。そして黄金を見つけ、すべての夢を叶えき、それがなんで不満な。それだけがすべての夢なんかじゃない。あの人と素敵な人生を歩んで、ジョージに素晴らしい人生を託す。妻として、母として。それなのに、それはあなたが大人に、私たちの夢じゃない。だからあなたは子供なのよ。自分さえ良ければいいの。そうよ。すべて私。あの時ローザの言うことにどうして私は反抗し、どうして兄弟みんなに黄金を見つけたと。すべて私が醜いから。黄金を独り占めしたくて芽生えさせたよこしまな心があなたを孵化させてしまった。 ひどい嫌われようだわ。
Yes. Yes.
私たちは二人で後宮エヴァなのね。
No, 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 no. Ushiromiya Eva is a character I've come to respect a bit. You? You? You're nothing, kid. You ain't shit. You're worth less than a fucking fly on a rotting carcass's ass. Fuck you.
いいえ、もう違う。
Let her know, Eva.
そしてそれは
Pop
あなたが
off.
言ったのよ。私は後宮エヴァ、そしてあなたは黄金の魔女ベアトリーチェよ。だからもう消えて。魔女なんておとぎ話の中にしか存在できない妄想よ。
Yeah, deny her.
幻想よ。あなたなんか消えてしまえ。二度と私の前に現れないで。
ああ、そう。わかったわ。あなたの前から消えてあげるわ。そして私はもうこ
Oh
れ
my
からは
god, shut up.
もう好き勝手に遊んでやるんだから。あんたなんて知らない。ヘスでもかんで勝手に死んじゃえば。
After having a very childlike tantrum, the bitch who had once been another Eva vanished. Only Eva was left behind in the darkness. You should question yourself.
私なの。私があの人を殺してしまった。私が殺してしまったの。
She can no longer answer that question herself. It seemed that, half asleep, she had gotten some saliva caught in her windpipe just as she was dozing off. Eva suddenly started coughing.
大丈夫かエヴァ。夏希、水を頼む。
はい。
大丈夫だってば。
Yeah, no, you sound great.
むせちゃっただけなんだから。
Eva pushed away Nazi's hand as she tried to rub her back, then unsteadily rose to her feet.
顔を洗ってくるわ。ごめんなさいね。寝ちゃってたわ。戻ってきたらまたコーヒーを入れる。
Coffee? Anyone wants more coffee?
特に濃い。明日の朝まで眠気が来なくなるような。
Extra strong.
頼む。ゴーダの入れるコーヒーよりお前が入れるコーヒーの方が私の好みに合うか。
お世辞でも嬉しいわ。すぐ戻るわ。
Eva exited the lobby, heading for the bathroom. Karasu Nazi watched over her frail back.
あなたもあれだけ犬猿の中だったエヴァさんに気を使うことも。
本来兄とはこういうものではないのかね。
ええ、それで正しいと思います。
No.
エヴァに限らん。ルドルフにもローザにも私がした兄らしいことといえばそれを王兵に語り彼らをいじめただけだ。父のようになりたくて私なりに必死だった。だがいつもそれは及ばず、しかしそれは言い訳にならん。
Well, at least you acknowledge it. I'll give you that much.
まだ傷が癒えぬほどに
Oh, dude, you have
深い
no
心の
idea.
傷を負わせてしまっただろう。悔いているが今さらそれを詫びたところでその傷が癒
You
え
gave
る
her
わけも
scars so deep they manifested into a witch that's been killing off your family. How's that feel?
あなたがその気持ちを今だけでなく、その気持ちはきっと他の兄弟たちにも伝わりますよ。
I'm sure your siblings will come to see it sooner or later. Nazi, I love you, but he only has one sibling now. I hate to be that guy, but what do you mean his siblings will come to see it? Two of them, there's no chance they're gonna come to see it. They're gone.
今となっては他の兄弟も
Yeah,
エヴァを残すのみだがね。
もしあなたとあなたのご兄弟
Yeah, no
が生まれ
shit.
た家がもっともっと普通な楽しい兄弟の関係であったでしょうに。
それを言ってはならん。エヴァは生涯私を憎み続けるだろう。そしてその資格があ
I mean, at least you can acknowledge that.
る。私はそれを甘んじて受け止めるつもりだ。
あなた
エヴァ、すまん。もちろん許さなくていい。
もちろん許さないわ。何を今さら。
Fuck. I didn't even think about that. Son of a bitch. She'd even said so. Like, or no, one of the fucking Chester sisters had said so. That, like, yo, once you get Ava out of the way, those two will be sitting ducks. Oh my fucking god. I didn't even think about it. This whole time I thought Ava was gonna walk off to the fucking restroom, and I thought she would notice that George is gone, and I thought that was gonna be the event, but no. Obviously the fact that she just left the room leaves Nazi and Kraus wide open. God damn it. The moment this little shit spoke up, it just clicked. I'm like, oh, okay. I see where we are. God damn it. Alright.
悪いと思ったなら今すぐへそでも噛んで死んじゃえ
Shut
ば。
up.
やっちゃえシエスタしろ。
Shut up.
45射撃許可治療。射撃曲線再確認。飛行誤差修正。410データリンク。410
Shut
デー
up.
タ受領。
Shut up.
射撃。
Together the sisters released the magical bowstring they had readied. A beautiful tail trailed behind the gold arrow, and it drew a lovely curve as it flew. It's just like a gold snake. It skillfully avoided a grove of trees and flew towards the front door of the guest house. Then it flew into the keyhole of the door and snuck into the guest house without any problem at all. The gold snake raced down the hall smoothly, yet as fast as an arrow. Right before it was the door to the lobby. When it flew into the keyhole, Kraus and Nazi were already... For an instant, Kraus thought he saw a gold-colored sparkle in the keyhole in the door. However, at the same time, as he strained his eyes to see what it was, that sparkle bent like a whip and attacked, wrapping itself around Kraus's neck. Yikes. Just looking at it, the gold snake seemed very supple. Why is that the word used to describe it? However, it was as though a wire had tightened around Kraus's neck. Did it fucking decapitate him? And while that snake choked Kraus, it extended even more. It also tightened around Nazi's neck. Oh. Without even a chance to scream, their eyes bulged as they went into convulsions and then collapsed.
45命中および死亡確認。
But that reminds me, I forgot to check the kill descriptions of whoever the fuck else. Also, yeah, these dill holes. A weapon, a 410 as a kid with strong personalities, peculiar style of speech, tends to make light of people. She likes laughing at people who are serious or never relax, which is why she's so fond of 45 and Lucifer. Her first words may be coarse, but she loves company and gets lonely easily. She gets depressed if there isn't someone talking with her constantly. 410 is particular skill when it comes to firing control, and she can wield unparalleled combative force even in close-range firing. Weapon and contract, 45 has a methodical and timid personality, as well as a fairly strong persecution complex. Thanks to that, she's well suited to shoring up the weaknesses of 410's rough personality when they work as a pair. She can't stand silence, so she'll often become emotionally insecure if she isn't being ordered around by someone constantly. 45 excels in search and decision-making capabilities. The support she provides doubles the combative forces of the sisters. Oh ho ho. But also over here. Yeah. Oof. Died in the hall of the mansion with his forehead pierced by a weapon shaped like a stake. Apparently they've got to be finished off with stakes from here on out. Gross. Alright, weren't they all written by, no. Yeah, these ones were written by Ronave. And I'm pretty sure these two were written by Ronave, but then these ones, no. Died in the hall of the mansion, your stomach curious. The stomach isn't particularly a lethal spot. Isn't it enough just to kill her in some other easier way and stick a stake in her corpse? Yikes. That was chaos to me. Didn't think you were still alive. Yikes. Alright, that's where we forgot. Okay. Now I have to wait for Battler to actually discover the corpse before we can check those death descriptions.
牽引曲線形成補正点修正410へデータリンク410データ10死体牽引開始2匹も釣れた2匹
God, I hate your voice too. The gold snake began to drag Karasunatsi's bodies back. They slipped through the door to the corridor, dragging the bodies, gradually increasing in speed. And rapidly pulled them outside the guest house. So the lobby was silent, as though nothing had happened. As though Karasunatsi had not been there since the beginning. Only the sound of the wind and the rain remained, as if they were playing dumb and pretending to be the only ones there. God, I can't wait for Ava's reaction when she gets back. Yep.
ごめんなさい。もう大丈夫よ。今コーヒーを入れるわね。
Ava returned from the bathroom, but no one was in the lobby. Even though they had supposedly been in that sofa until the moment she had choked and gone to the bathroom. They were gone as if they'd been an illusion from the very beginning.
不用心ね。二人揃ってどこに行っちゃったの？
Ava put her hand on the sofa as though acting out a scene from a detective novel. She felt a warmth that meant they had been sitting there until a short while ago. Maybe they went to do the rounds or something. For the time being, Ava sat down and waited for their return. Oof. Yeah, and she's like, maybe they went to do the rounds or something, and then she's gonna realize, you know what, it's been a while since they left. And then she's gonna go do the rounds herself and realize, oh, where's my son? Beato and George could be seen in the parlor of the mansion. George was kneeling near Shannon's body, as though praying. His face was serious, and there was even sweat on his forehead. However, Beato was the same. Now that she had handed her name over, most of her previous power had been lost. Of course, she still had more than enough power to be called a witch, but compared to the past, it was a very faint thing. What the fuck is that mouth shape? That's definitely, something.
声をかける。心の声で呼べ。心の手で求め。そなたの強き思いだけ。シャノンの失われた魂。わら。
George kept praying earnestly and silently. He kept frantically yelling inside his heart, trying to call back the soul of the person he once loved. He strongly envisioned his soul leaving his body and searching for her as she wandered through the land of the dead. Beato turned that strong force into a magical power that supplemented her own magic. This was magic that, in the past, she could have performed easily without anyone's help. But now, if she didn't rely on someone's assistance, she wouldn't be able to finish the chant, much less succeed.
数百人近くの魔法と暗号とこんなに辛い魔法であったか。
Beato was wearing an even more strained expression than George. It had slipped her mind, but originally the magic to revive a life was the ultimate hidden art. The abnormal thing was her previous magical power, which could be used over and over with a snap of her fingers. So the heavy burden on her body and mind was, fundamentally speaking, extremely natural.
しかし、こやつめの力、魔法を知らぬというのはかなりのもの。なら、さすがは金蔵の孫といったところ。
The strong energy pouring from George was large enough to act as magical power. At first, Beato thought it must be the blood of Ginzo, the sorcerer. However, that probably wasn't it. She had a feeling that Battler had already told her what it was. It had been born from the power of George's sadness at the death of the person he loved, and from the way he had tried his hardest throughout his life. From the warm time spent together with Shannon, to the size of the dream they swore to protect in the future. Is it really possible for humans to take a life so seriously? even though they only have a single one. It was only natural. To her, a life didn't mean anything more than the difference between the top and bottom of an Othello piece. If the black represented a death, then she thought all you had to do was flip it over again and make it white. However, it was just like that broken vase. To humans, in a world without magic, where they cannot return things to their original form, it is very, very natural for them to bet their life and soul.
生死すら自在にする無限の魔女、死の山さえ越えられぬ有限の人間に劣ることもあるという。
This time, the witch acknowledged it. He was able to hold a magical power that could never reside in witches who didn't understand the value of a life. Why does this thing called the Endless Magic exist? Even though I called myself the Endless Witch, did I forget what the Endless Magic means for thousands of years? She looked at George's expression again. His surging earnestness was like a lightning bolt. Right now, even if George's body had been burned or smashed by a waterfall, he'd probably continue to pray for his beloved without minding it, without noticing it. For the first time, she showed respect for that power. So in that instant, all magical resistance was lost, and the enormous power of George's feelings turned into magical energy in its complete form.